Well, good evening, everybody. Meredith Burkich here. I am so excited to get started tonight on our weekly educational webinar here at Immunotec. Always an exciting week as we come into the second Wednesday of the month, having an opportunity to meet with our own Dr. Jimmy Gutman. This is an incredible opportunity for us to get to hear from him, to glean from his wisdom, all of his heart, to hear from him, but to understand better the robust nature of our product line, the difference that we can make in people's lives. And so as we get started tonight and we take a look at what's coming up here before we start, I do want to remind you, this is recorded. And so what this means to you is that, you know what, there's going to be a lot of information coming your way. There's going to be a lot of stuff that you haven't heard before, didn't think of, and you may want to share with a friend. You may want to share with a family, somebody that you think can benefit from this amazing product we're going to be talking about tonight. And so we have archived every single one of Dr. Jimmy Gutman's broadcasts. And so what that means to you is when you're taking a look at the people in your life and you think, gosh, I know they would love this product, go into your back office. It's available on demand as a Immunotec podcast. Wow, that was a mouthful. And just make sure, hey, it's all right there again on demand for you to share, for you to use, refresh, and to really grow in your acumen of the amazing products that we have here at Immunotec. So please keep that in mind. And again, it's a pleasure to be with you. Happy November. Happy holidays upcoming. Always my honor to get to be with Dr. Gutman to share with you. So let's go ahead and get started on our broadcast for this week. Dr. Jimmy Gutman, I assume that we have you on the line and ready to rock and roll.
I wouldn't miss this.
Great. And for those of you that may be new to the Immunotec family, maybe new to understanding, Dr. Gutman and what he means, I would say the next time that he is in a neighborhood near you or you have an opportunity to hear him live, please come see and hear from him personally because, the heart of this gentleman, I've had the pleasure and the honor of last year to work side by side with him. And, coming from his medical background, all that he has meant to all the patients that he has helped. And really the one thing that you'll hear me talk about, but because it means so much, is when you meet an individual that isn't willing to just be status quo and just be happy that he has reached this height of being an incredible doctor and influencer and speaker, but to say, you know what, I'm going to step away from my comfort zone. I'm going to step away from what all my friends are doing and say, being here in the emergency room and patching people up and doing all this is not enough for me. I am going to just completely revolutionize my life and step away from everything that I thought I knew what I wanted to become and say, I'm going to be part of not only the solution, but going back to the root cause in people's lives and helping be a part to formulate, to invent, to create, to collaborate, to help us all to live better lives before we ever end up in the emergency room. I say that anybody that's willing to do something like that should have our undivided respect and attention at all times. So Dr. Gutman, welcome to the broadcast.
Thank you so much, Meredith.
Okay, so we are going to be talking about something really fun tonight because most of us have been hearing, for many years now that omega-3 fish oil, is incredibly popular. We see it on every shelf. Everybody talks about it all around the world, but the reality is that there are just so many products now that have absolutely saturated the market. It's really, really tricky to make a decision because, of course, everybody claims to be the very best. We know we need it, but we don't know which one to even, keep track of on a given day. So tell us about how to choose.
That's for sure. It's really confusing. And it's getting more confusing over time as more and more research is being done on omega-3 fatty acids.
And so, for us, for the listener tonight, for anybody they want to share this with, how do you approach discerning what's good, what's bad, and really what's best, most importantly?
Well, there's a couple of things that you can do. Number one, that you need to be assured that the oil is high quality, and that makes sense, free of toxins and from a good source. And this is where you have to have some faith in the company that you're getting the product from. And you want to be sure that quality is everything to that company. Number two, you need to know that the dose is appropriate, and that can be determined by picking up the bottle and reading the label carefully. And finally, number three, I have to tell you, there's a lot of really good quality omega-3s out there on the market. So the question becomes, is there a point of differentiation that makes this product stand out from the rest?
Okay, I see where you're going, Dr. G, because I have heard you say this many, many times. Don't call Omega Gen V an Omega product because it has a lot more to offer.
Yeah, that's exactly what I hope we're going to be able to demonstrate tonight.
So, you prepared to do that?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, great.
So I'm going to take a slightly different approach in this presentation than I usually do. Usually it's quite scientific, but I'm going to talk about science, but I'm also going to try and pull in some business acumen too. Because after all, we're all consumers, and one of the things we need to learn how to do is make the right choices. So let's pretend that we're all out shopping, and we've decided it's time to be more proactive about our health, and we're going to go and pick up some effective supplements. Now, the first aisle we turn down into has the omega-3 supplements, what we're talking about. Lots and lots of omega-3 supplements. Now, we know from our reading that omega-3 oils are really important. They've been promoted even by MDs for their patients. And that's because of, well, you've all heard me say this before, research, research, and research. So much research in this area, and that's what health professionals want to see before making any recommendation. And so many benefits, heart health and brain health, good circulation, joint health, and more. So why do we actually need to take an omega-3 supplement when we can just get it from fish? Well, first of all, not everyone is a fish fan, and that includes me, but that's not the real issue. The problem is that fish these days are loaded with toxins, and especially mercury. There's even government warnings to people like kids and pregnant women to limit their fish intake because of potential mercury toxicity. So we need these fish oil supplements. Now, this is not a new thing. Don't you remember grandma telling you to take your cod liver oil? Well, again, grandma had the right idea. So we've been feeling a little bit blue recently, and we've heard that omega-3 can improve your mood. So we drop it in our shopping cart. And here's where we shift from science to consumer finance. You can easily pay for a good quality omega-3, $30. And buyers beware. Some are great and some are just downright nasty. So now we have that in our basket. We turn the corner and move into the next aisle, and we see CoQ10. You just saw a program last night where doctors were talking about CoQ10 and heart disease, and all the men on your mother's side have died early from heart attacks. So this is something that draws your attention. Now, I also need to draw your attention to the fact that CoQ10 has been researched in many other areas. It's responsible in part for cellular energy production by the mitochondria, so it shouldn't be a surprise that it has other benefits. Brain health, potential application in diabetes, fertility, exercise performance, even skin health. So you take it and you drop it in your cart, and bing, another $25 that you're going to need to give the cashier to get out of the store and protect your physical health. Oh, and on your left is a big display about one of the hottest supplements out there, turmeric. A 2-pack for $54.99. Wow, that's a little over $27 each. Into the cart it goes. Now, for those of you who are not totally familiar with turmeric, here's a brief review. Turmeric goes by a couple of names, including one you may have heard of, curcumin. So let me tell you a story how this came about. Years ago, epidemiology scientists were doing studies in India, and they noticed something curious that took place in most villages. These villages generally had a central market where all sorts of goods were being bought and sold, and many of the vendors were well into their 70s and even 80s, and they were bartering and exchanging and bargaining with the best of the younger people. And the question came up, why at that age were they so sharp? So of course, one of the first places to look at was at their food. What were they eating that kept their minds so clear? So what do most Indians eat on a daily basis that most Americans don't? Curry. And you can guess from the name curry, curry contains curcumin. And studies eventually showed that curcumin was what we call a neuro anti-inflammatory agent. So by bringing down brain inflammation, you bring down the incidence of neurodegenerative disorders like Alzheimer's and cognitive decline. And so there you go. Since you've already forgotten where you left your car in a parking lot, you feel that this is a good thing to buy. So the store manager sees you putting the bottle of curcumin into your basket and says, hey, curcumin or turmeric works best when you take it with piperine. He explains to you that the active ingredients are absorbed many times greater when piperine is present. So you pull out your phone and you do a quick check on Google when he's not looking. And as it turns out, this pepper derivative does exactly that. So you want to get the most out of your curcumin and possibly other nutrients as well. So the piperine goes into your shopping cart, another 18 bucks. Finally, a big old bottle of vitamin C is on sale too. And this is one supplement you've known about for years. And for years, it was the best-selling antioxidant on the market. And having read all the benefits about vitamin E, it's hard not to drop such a special into your basket. And after all, it's really inexpensive compared to the other ones that you bought today. So you get to the cash. And these supplements total over 100 bucks. But you're okay paying for it because you understand how big the benefits are for your well-being. So are these physically healthy choices? Clearly, yes. Are these financially healthy choices? Well, I don't think so. So let me tell you why. Let's look at Immunotec's Omega Gen 5. Now let's look at why it has the big V for 5 in the name. It has 5 ingredients: omega-3, CoQ10, vitamin E, curcumin, and piperine. Is this gonna cost you over 100 bucks? Well, you know what? It won't, and I'm gonna let Meredith take it from here.
Exactly. Well, thank you so much, Dr. G. I think that you've done a great parallel. I loved what you did there on the slide where you just really showed the build, where you showed, how as you add these things up, it becomes really difficult for a consumer to make those choices. And then, of course, what do? We don't have an extra $100 lying around. So what do we choose to do? We choose to do nothing. Confused minds say no, but certainly we're not looking at how we're going to spend an extra $100 a month on all of these things. So as you can see, even, not to mention that we have a great, amazing special going on our Omega Gen V product this month, even at regular price, even as a retail customer, forget about auto ship and forget about signing up as a consultant, we still are a third of the price of all of those things that you're getting. And not to mention, who wants to take all of those pills? If I can get them all and be one and done, I say, let's do it. And for a consultant, of course, for one quarter of the price, you're getting a company that you can rely on, a company you can depend on, and it's really the best way to go. So now we get to have some fun. Okay, because we're going to be moving into a section where we get to really hear about from the people, from all of you who write in, who want to talk to us about all of your questions and say, you know what, I want to talk to Dr. G personally. Obviously, he doesn't have time to speak to everyone. So we're going to go ahead and have a treat for you, and I'm going to let you know some of the questions that have come our way, Dr. G. So are you ready to rock and roll?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, very good. So I'm going to ask a couple questions about our omega-3 specifically, because one of the things that you mentioned earlier in your presentation was that the research is showing, and you went by it really quickly, but you said that using omega-3s can have an effect on your mood. And again, it went by really, really quick, but some people don't associate that with an oil-based product. So tell us a little bit about what you meant by that.
Well, Not that long ago, I went to a conference on, get this, psychiatry and nutrition. And I thought the science was going to be a bit soft, but I tell you, their handle on biochemistry and neurobiology absolutely blew me away. It was a 3-day conference, and a full day was just spent on the presentation of papers on omega-3 and depression, on omega-3 and anxiety, on omega-3 and attention. I tell you, it was a real eye-opener. I really urge all the keeners out there to go on PubMed and look this stuff up.
Okay, and it's like you always say, research, research, research. That's what we hear from you, Dr. G.
Yeah.
Good. Okay. All right. So here's another one really quick, and that is, what about vitamin E in the product? Okay, because I know that we've got a robust line. I know Immunotec also offers it in the multivitamin and the multi plus. So if we're getting it over in that product that we're taking, of course, every day, then why do we also have it over here in the Omega product?
Boy, it can't slip anything by you, Meredith. You're really sharp today. I guess you're taking all of the products.
Wouldn't go without them.
Well, we do everything with specific intent. Y'all know me by now. The reason there's vitamin E in the Omega product is because it actually acts as an antioxidant on the omega fatty acids. It keeps them from becoming rancid. And I'm sure some of you have experienced other omega-3s that have that real loud, fishy taste.
So that is yes, because everybody on this line tonight, listening to it on replay or live, we want you to have an absolutely good experience. So I do have a couple of questions that are coming directly from the field. Dr. G, do we have a few more minutes?
Yeah, let's do it.
Great. All right. We have all the way across the pond from London, Nigel asking, I love Indian food, especially curry, don't we all? Am I getting my curcumin that way from my food?
Well, Nigel, you're probably getting some. But remember, you're likely not eating as much curry as most residents of India do themselves. And the curry in India is likely fresh and homemade. There's going to be a difference. So you're going to get a bit, but not probably very effective.
That makes sense. And Sarah from Saratoga, she has a concern here because she has written that the better curcumin products have something that they've actually added to make sure that we absorb it. What about Gen V?
Exactly. That's just in case I didn't make myself clear in the presentation. That's exactly why we put piperine in the product. No stone left unturned, Sarah. Good pickup.
All right, Dr. G, thank you so much for listening. Thank you for being our champion, and thank you for making the world a better place. We appreciate it. For our listeners, I really recommend that you just take if you've got your computer on right now, take a photo of this. We want to make sure, of course, if you're using it in your presentations, that you do use the corporately created slides, because all of these statements, of course, are compliant. All of these statements are what you should be using. And you can see here, just to wrap it all up, that as a reminder of what Dr. G just taught us, the benefits, it helps with our cardiovascular health, it helps support our cognitive health, and it helps support our eye health. And again, those 5 that make it Omega Gen V5, what you're looking at here when you're talking to your friends, to your family, the people you care about, mentioning the benefits of omega-3, of CoQ10, of vitamin E, of curcumin, and I love this piperine. I don't even think I actually knew what that was, Dr. G, until you brought it up. So, but thank you. Because then it also obviously answered the questions that we have. So just as a reminder, okay, as we're looking at the specials and we're looking at the sale of how great it is to be able to focus on our products each and every month, as we remind you, the great price, this is our everyday price. This is something that we enjoy offering you, again, $25.55. because now available, though, this is the product of the month. This is the focus of the month. So it aligns with our education. And we want to give you an opportunity to buy 3 bottles and get an additional 15% off of whatever status that you have. So if you're a retail customer, obviously this is not something that's going to help you too much, because we really hope you're on auto ship and you're actually getting the preferred customer pricing, or as I imagine most of you callers, are listening in, consultants for the best offer. But what this is really showing you, is obviously you can save some additional money. It's a great price at regular price, but now even more so, better than ever, for a little over $20, you can share those 5 incredibly beneficial ingredients with people that you care about. So great stocking stuffer. Might seem a little kind of fishy to sit there and give a gift like that at the holidays, but you never know. Take it over to a friend who's putting on a feast for you and say, you know what, just in case we don't get everything we need out of this lovely meal you made us, here's something special just for you. But as a reminder, this is kind of our final touch point. Here at Immunotec, what we do to empower you as you're talking about the product lines is we offer these specials once a month on something to get you think outside the box, because of course all of the the millions and millions of dollars, probably billions of dollars being spent on these products every year, these are things that people that are already buying. And so in addition to, of course, their Immunocal, their Platinum, we can get this, but we don't want to send you out there unarmed. We want to give you a special offering to share it with them, but we want to give you these sell sheets where, again, you don't have to be the message, you are the messenger. Print off a copy of these, of our amazing sell sheets created just for you. They're in your back office. And we don't want you to go out there alone. Just fire off a couple of those on a high quality paper, send them through your printer and put them in your bag. And then, as you give a gift of the Omega Gen B, hand them the bottle and hand them the sell sheet. And again, they have a credible source. They can go and they can look up Dr. G online. They can find all the other wonderful, teachings that he has in education. Help your people to start taking their health seriously. We cannot be there for other people if we are not there for ourselves. And we here at Immunotec are here for you. So just as a reminder, as we wrap up tonight, this has been recorded. So please, please, please access these. They're available on demand on the Immunotec podcast. And so you can go right into the Podbean and pick those up. And then as a reminder of these seminars next week, okay, maximizing compensation and incentives. We're going to have some very, very exciting specials coming up here. I mean, obviously we got Black Friday coming up. We have Cyber Monday. It's November. So as a reminder, tune in every week so you can find out what's going on, what's new, and how to make the most of your Immunotec business. Please join us. Please join us every week at this time or at your convenience on demand. And I think that about wraps us up for the evening, or again, if you're listening on demand, whenever it is, whatever time of day. We thank you for all that you mean to us, all that you mean to the vision, all that you mean to each other and the lives that you touch. Immunotec, the science of living better because of you. Happy holidays, everyone.